way till eventually the thrill. Keep going on strong like a soldier. I was drunk with love, now I'm sober. So I can't stop saying that I told you, I'm sober, 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 I'm sober. It was time, we looked us, it was already the end. Looking up, did you love? Did I best just to pretend? You would teach me how it's easy, you were more than just a friend. Something deep within the soul, feeling that I'm never gonna see again. Feeling that I'm never gonna see again. Fucking tight, got me waking up more. You and me, summer nights, lying naked on the floor. It's like your place, we have time and space. Feel like we have it all. Not to breathe, soon to see. You just wanna look it for, just wanna look it for, just wanna look it for. Just wanna look it for, just wanna look it for, just wanna look it for. It was time, we looked us, it was already the end. Waking up, did you love? Did I best just to pretend? You would teach me that it's easy, we were more than just friends. Something deep within the soul, feeling that I'm never gonna see again. Feeling that I'm never gonna see again. Wanna put a thing along, please forgive me. I ain't gonna make it home, I ain't gonna make it home, oh tell me. I ain't gonna bring it home, I ain't gonna bring it home, please tell me. I ain't gonna make it home, I ain't gonna make it home, cheers. All right, we're here. Hold on a second. All right, live market observation. Mark Fuller, Team Alliance. Here we go. If you're new to the live observation or you're new to Team Alliance content, this is the NADEX platform that you are seeing on the screen. Even before we get into that, right now we're streaming live on 3 platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Whatever platform that you're observing from, make sure that you like the video. So whether it's a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is, make sure that you put that on there. Also, make sure that you share the video as well. All right. So we're doing some observation. I actually just finished up with a trade right before I came on the live observation. As a matter of fact, as soon as I turned the program on to go live, the trade was there. I had been watching, the market intermittently. Nothing crazy, but I was observing for maybe about an hour or so. Kind of moving in and out, watching. And a trade actually did come. The market has overall been looking pretty good as far as the euro dollar is concerned. That's the market that I observe and trade. And then ultimately the opportunity came. So actually, right where you see this arrow, this is where the trade set up, and it was for a short. So we were selling this horizontal line here. What is it? 1821. Yeah, the 1821 strike price. So we went short on that, and that was a winning trade. And we are just observing at this point. Even before the actual trade set up, you could, kind of get an idea of what the market was doing overall. Moving in and out of different stages of, I would say, stabilizing. I'm not going to say full instability because the market wasn't necessarily unstable as it worked its way up to where we ultimately were able to take a trade or receive a trade rather. The market is not like a light switch. It gradually makes its way. It doesn't just cut on and off. So it's not like it goes from instability to stability or vice versa. Doesn't move from stability to instability either. What it does is it gradually makes its way from one to the other. And you just need to be able to recognize both, not just stability, but also when the market's not stable. Also being able to recognize when the market is transitioning from becoming unstable into becoming stable. The transition also flows in both directions. So the market will also be stable and then transition into an unstable environment as well. So just being able to recognize and decipher between each one, and also recognize the transition period that takes place kind of like in the middle where it's moving from one to the other. That's what our skill set is based upon.
In fact, that's exactly what our skill set is. Like we're not doing anything else. That's what we're doing. We're developing the ability to recognize when the market ultimately transitions into stability, and there are things that go along with stability in the market. And what I call that is the tools that we use. So all of the tools and everything that we utilize to clearly see when the market is stable um, is something that you're learning how to do over time. When you train here, you definitely learn how to recognize both instability and stability. But regardless of whether you train with me or not, you have to be able to know the difference between when the market's stable versus when it's not stable, because that is going to be the determining factor for your trade. So a lot of people, what they do is they try to develop trade strategies, ways of entering into trades. And that's not a long-term way to be successful in the market, especially not on this platform, because on this platform, we trade binaries. Binaries are very simple to trade. You just have to be correct about where the market ends. So as long as the market ends in position relative to the trade that you're in or the trade that you're selecting, then you will make a profit on the trade when you trade binaries. And this is powerful. It's also an easy way to lose money if you don't know what you're doing as far as the market goes. So a lot of people misunderstand NADEX as a platform and also binaries as an instrument. They don't fully comprehend what it allows you to do. Here on TeamAlliance, we know clearly what the binaries are about, and we understand the NADEX platform, mainly understanding that this is an exchange that you're on. So every time that you participate in a trade, there's someone on the other side of that same trade that you're in doing the opposite thing of what you're doing. So for example, if you're in a trade where you're going to earn $20, but you're going to risk $80 on that trade because the scale is 100. So basically what you're risking subtracted from 100 will determine how much you're going to make if you win that trade. If you're risking 80, you subtract 80 from 100, what does that give you? 20. Means that you're going to make $20 on one contract if you win that trade. On the contrary, vice versa. If you are risking 20, then you would make $80 on the trade. So basically, whoever's on the other side of the trade is doing the exact opposite of what you're doing. So if you're risking 80 to make 20, the person or the people on the other side of that trade are risking 20 to make 80. One of you is going to be correct. Now, what determines who's going to be correct is not the NADEX platform. And this is where people get things confused because they think that NADEX is trading against them. And that's not the case at all. What determines if you're going to win or lose the trade is the market itself. The market. The thing that's moving. Like if I zoom into this, you see these candles, these red and these blue candles? They represent 1 minute increments of market activity on this currency pair, which is the euro dollar. The euro dollar is the underlying market that these binaries that I'm looking at right now are based upon. So the 5-minute binaries that I'm watching right now are based upon the euro dollar. That's one currency pair that's available to trade with these binaries. There are other markets. As a matter of fact, I think that there's a total of 7, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let me count them. Let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 markets: Aussie dollar, euro dollar, the pound dollar, the dollar yen, euro yen, pound yen, and the dollar CAD. So these 7 markets are all underlying the 5-minute binary instrument that we trade. So you can select whatever market you want to and trade binaries on that market. So the binary is the instrument on top of the market that you're trading. You're not trading the market. However, the market movement is going to determine whether you win or lose the trade on the binary. You see how that works? Which means that in order for you to be consistent when you trade the binaries, you have to have a solid understanding of how the market moves, meaning how does the underlying market that you're observing and that your binaries are based on, how does that move? You need to understand stability versus instability. And just to simplify things, instability just simply means that it's a coin flip when you trade the binary. Because if the market's not stable, it can move anywhere. So what could look like a winning trade could end up being a losing trade within seconds of the binary if the market's not stable. And this is where the knowledge comes. So just that one statement alone helps you understand what you're dealing with when you're on NADEX and when you're trading binaries. You're really dealing with the market, the underlying currency market that your binary is based on. That's what you're dealing with. The binary as an instrument to trade is simply on top of whatever market that you're watching, whatever market you're observing, which ultimately represents the market that you're trading the binary on. You understand? But you're not trading that market. Like I'm not trading in the euro dollar. However, I am trading binary based on the euro dollar. So I still need to be aware of what the euro dollar is doing. The market, the euro dollar currency market. I need to know what it's doing. I need to understand how it's moving. I need to be able to recognize when it's not stable. I need to be able to recognize when it is stable. And by me doing that, I can now trade the binaries with confidence because I'll know when not to be in a trade. And I'll also know ultimately when to engage in a trade. You see, this is the clarity that comes along with understanding the market. And this is why that's all you're going to hear me ever talk about. Understanding the market, being able to interpret the movement, being able to recognize when it's stable, when it's not stable, when it's transitioning from one into the other, or vice versa. So our observation and our study leads us to gain more and more clarity with the process of understanding stability and instability in the market. So we're not here learning how to trade because it's easy to trade. If you want to trade, just pick one. There's plenty of binaries for you to trade. You could pick one that's on the platform right now. It's easy to trade. Just pick a side. You want to buy or you want to sell. You're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. But what determines if you're right or wrong? The market movement determines that. And the reason that people will lose is because they're flipping a coin, hoping that they're right about what they guessed. Oh, it's going up. I think I'm going to buy. Hope it holds. See, that's how people trade when they don't understand the market. They're hoping. Now, you don't have to trade that way. What you can do is actually study the market and learn how to observe it and learn how to recognize when it's stable and when it's not stable. And when you do that, what ends up happening is you now elevate as far as your performance when you trade, because you're not flipping a coin anymore. Now you know what, market ain't stable, ain't nothing to do. Market is stable, but there's no trade yet. Market is stable. Let's see if a trade comes. No trade comes. Oh, okay. Hey, Mark, I saw that the market was stable. Did you take a trade? Nah, no trade came. I thought you took a trade every day. No. Like just this is stuff people will ask me because they just assume, oh, you're a day trader. No, I'm not a day trader. I'm a winning trader. Doesn't mean I'm going to get a trade every day. But when I do trade, that trade is gonna be a winning trade. You best believe it. You best believe it. So you got to understand, like, what's more important? Getting a bunch of trades all the time, and hey, I got traded. I got one today. And then you get that day where you flip that coin and you lose. And it's like, oh, then you don't want to talk about it no more. See, that's not what we do here. First and foremost, the first thing that we do is we document, we record. Speaking of which, I need to actually look at the video that Jermaine sent. I know Jermaine was in the same trade I was in, and I think that he sent the link for the video for it. Let me go ahead and take a look at this. It's my first time actually seeing it, and this is what I mean. So I posted in the group chat. The private group chat is what you get access to when you sign up for training with us. And I posted in the group chat the trade that I was in. Matter of fact, let me come over to the chart again. Let me just scroll back a little bit because it was back here where you see the arrow. This right here. So I was in this trade on a short, and it was a winning trade. Jermaine took the same trade. And my first question when he said, hey, I took the same trade, I said, where's the video? He posted the video. Come on, man. Documentation all day. And my point by bringing that up is that, see, in my group, when we talk about what we do, we have the documentation for it. And of course, there are some who are new. They're learning how to do it. They're, developing the habit of recording. But this is a big deal here. Like, we focus on documentation. Heavy. I'm not teaching y'all how to do things without documenting. If you're going to be moving and doing whatever you're doing, whether it's an observation or an actual trade that you end up in, you need to record. Period. So when you tell me, oh, I forgot to record, all right, you know that you're going to hear it from me because that's not what I'm training and conditioning you to do at all. Not teaching you to do that. Before you even start trading, you need to be recording. Whoa. And it's because you need to document everything going on in your journey. Also, it helps other people in the group. Like, I'm about to actually pull it up on the screen so we can see the recording. So this is another reason that we document, when you're able to see, like, okay, look how the market look. I see. I'm starting to understand why we would take the trade. It's like because you're beginning to become familiar with how the market is supposed to look when you're in a trade. Just ask yourself the question anytime that you even think about trading. Look at how the market's moving and ask yourself, would I want to be in a trade right now? Just look at how the market's moving. Like, you see how it's moving? Ask the question. Would you want to be in a trade now with the market looking how it looks? If your answer is no, then you have no business being in a trade when the market looks like that. Simple. That's the discipline. See, the discipline is just is that we're not going to do anything if the market looks funny. if it looks unstable, if it looks if it looks like, oh, it's getting there, but it ain't quite there yet. You see? We don't allow ourselves to engage in the market at the wrong time. Anything that's not the right time is the wrong time to be in the trade. Has nothing to do with the trade. Oh, but Mark, that was a good trade though. It set up right. Yeah, but if a trade sets up right at the wrong time, it's wrong. Hold on, let me say that again. If a trade sets up right at the wrong time, it's wrong. It's wrong. You can't make right out of wrong. You need to know what wrong is. You need to be able to recognize how wrong looks. All right. Let me get this video. I did just have it up a second ago. I don't know if I was sharing it though. Oh, I don't think I was sharing it. All right, let me put it up on the screen. Let me see. How you do this? Oh, you stop it there, and then wait. No, that ain't what I wanted to do. Oh, okay. I got to stop it first and then share the new one. Okay. Where is it? This? Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. So this is the video right here that Jermaine posted. So let me fast forward a little bit. I'll take it right around to the minute mark. So right about there. All right. So this was at what time was this? This was the 12:55. Wait, hold on. Was that is this the same time? No, this was the one I was in. It was at 1 o'clock. Maybe it's past this. Hold on. Okay, here it is. This is it. So it looked like he had recorded another binary before. He recorded the 12:55 too. Got you. All right. So this is the actual 1 o'clock. This is the trade right here. So you see what he's doing, right? See the box, waiting. Just watch. Look at the indicative. Watch what the market does. He clicked right in there. No hesitation, no nothing. Chicken dinner. Chicken dinner. So you see how you're developing your confidence because of what you're seeing in the market. When you're looking, it's not that you're looking for a trade to even set up. Like this is another big thing that goes along with the way that you're being trained. You're not looking for a trade. You're looking to see the market stabilize. And there are certain things that point to the market becoming stable And that's what we call the tools. So when you're using the tools and the tools bring everything together, the tools confirm the stability in the market. Listen to what I'm saying. The tools don't confirm a trade. Whoa, 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 whoa. You're not looking for a trade. A trade either comes or it don't. Another thing too about that, and it's interesting when you actually look, because you're looking like, wait, how did he get into that? And there was no pricing. You when you start to understand this platform, you start to realize that with option pricing, when the market is stable, many times you won't see available pricing when you're looking at the pricing. Does not mean that there are not orders on the books. It's just that you don't see the orders. You don't see all of them. There are times when there are orders there that you don't ever see. You never see pricing for it. But it doesn't mean that it ain't there. Excuse me. There are times I've gotten into trades where there was no pricing being shown at all, but the trade still filled because there are actually people on the other side, just like I explained earlier, because this is an exchange. That this is another beautiful aspect of this. There could be someone on the other side of that trade that is willing to risk their $20 to make $80. It ain't gonna happen for them, but I'm just saying they're willing to do it because they love risk reward. They love it. Hey, I'm only risking 20 to make 80, but you ain't gonna make 80. You don't know that yet. So you go ahead and pull the trigger on that. And what'll happen is the people that are thinking like that, they'll be the same ones that fill your order. Even when you don't see the pricing on the platform. So it's little nuances like that that you become more familiar with just over time and through observation. And all of the training that you do just reiterates the type of stuff that I'm talking about right now. As you train, you begin to realize that everything I'm talking about and teaching you in training manifests. It happens. This is why it pays to learn and develop the skill first before you start trading. And when people start trading before they have skill, all they're doing is flipping the coin. And eventually you're going to flip and it's going to land on tails. See, you want it to land on heads every time. Eventually it's going to go to tails and you're going to lose. It's a coin flip. See? So, and put it like this. When you learn how to understand the market, you end up with a coin that has heads on both sides. So it don't matter which side it lands on, it's heads. See, it's like you become the coin instead of flipping it. You got a head on both sides of the coin, you the coin. Because you know the outcome. What's the outcome going to be? Heads. Every time. That's a good analogy right there to remember things by. The two-headed coin. That's what it is. All right, let me come into these comments real quick. Y'all make sure when you come on that y'all like the video. Give it a heart, give it a thumbs up on whatever platform that you're on. I see Orion in the building. I see Maui Jeff. Ray Young is here. Shout out to Jermaine with the recording. Come on, man. We documenting over here, baby. Otis in the building. I see Tavares. Jermaine said he took it in both accounts too. Oh, snap. He got two accounts, huh? Jermaine been around me a long time, man. He been around me a long time. Talk your shit, man. Payless, a lot of tricks the market creates, so it takes lots of focus and skill to execute at the right time. It's 5 minutes, so we can do a lot at that time. Very true. Very true. He says, so tools are a must to succeed on this platform, not a curve fit. Gotta give it up for that. Orion said, TA don't use tools. We wait for the market to give it up. Yes, we do wait for the market to give it up. And we don't use traditional tools like indicators. I do call the things that we utilize alongside waiting tools. But yes, I do understand what Orion is saying, and he's correct. We do wait for the market to give it up. That's 100%. Payless, the tools is the process and the training, Orion. That's what I meant. Yes. Right. Thank you, Payless, for clearing that up. Yep. He said this young Yoda. You must have forgot. Y'all are funny. Paley is talking shit. Fernando, what's happening? Orion says, still haven't taken a trade, just training and observing. Yes, doing it right. Doing it right. Jay Carly says, if my eyes are on the market, so is my recorder. No excuses. In other words, we're going to record, man, regardless. We are going to record. See, I mean, like you see how I just was able to show that video just now? That's what I mean about documentation. Now, the takeaway from when you look at videos, when the observation is clear, you're looking at how the market looked. That's the takeaway from a video. So whether it's an observation or someone actually entered into a trade that came, you're seeing more so how the market looked. You're not there, oh, I clicked in late. Like we don't do none of that. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked in. I should have waited. We're not doing any of that. When we click in, we all in. We don't click in unless we have full confidence. And you can't have full confidence if you don't understand what the market's doing. So when we click in, it's all in. Whether you get filled or not. That's the point that I'm making. So, you know how some people, they'll be in a trade, they trying to exit the trade early. They see a little bit of profit, they trying to get out quick. It's because they're not confident in what they see in the market at all. They're afraid that the market might do something to surprise them. Oh man, the market might reverse on me. If you're trading at a time when the market can reverse on you, you're trading at the wrong time. Come on, man. You need to be able to distinguish between the right time and the wrong time. If you're trading at a time where you feel like, oh, the market might go against me on this one, let me try to get out of it. It's the wrong time. And if it's the wrong time, it should be no trade, period. Period. So I don't care what trade sets up. If a great trade sets up at the wrong time, it's not a great trade. You thinking about the trade. You thinking about the setup, but you about to get set up. You about to get set up. So you need to just relax, breathe, wait. See, learning how to understand and interpret the market is the foundation of the skill that we use. The patience you need for it, super important. You gotta have that. The discipline you need to not do other shit until what we wait for comes. Gotta have that. That's the mindset part of what we do. There's a video on the channel, 301 Mindset. For those of you that are not in the training yet, you need to watch 301 Mindset every day. Go on a YouTube channel and type in 301 mindset in the search bar. And when that video pulls up, watch it every day. You need to understand how to develop and elevate your mindset first, because you're going to need that patience and discipline that you are working on as you watch 301 mindset every day. You need that. That's what it takes for you to wait. Market gave it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So what happens on a day when you happen to be up this early in the morning and the market looks how it looked in the video just now that you saw? What happens if that happens during the New York session or during a whole nother session? This is another thing too. People think and assume that the things that are supposed to happen only happen at certain times. Like, oh, your trade during the Asian session. No, we trade ultimately when the market gives us one. Doesn't matter what session it is. Whenever the market decides to stabilize, that's when we're going to end up in a trade if it comes. That's it. Oh, well, which session do you guys trade in? Whatever session the market stabilizes in and gives us a trade, that's the session that we're going to be in at that time. It could be any session. New York, Asian, London, doesn't matter. That's the point. So it's the skill set that allows you to perform no matter what the session is. Because the market is going to decide if it wants to present that to you in that session. And the market will decide which session. The market ain't limited to a session. Like, oh, I'm only going to give it to you in Asian session. Nah. Nope. Not at all. It's the New York session. I feel like giving it up. And because you're trained and conditioned to know what the right time looks like, you see it. And because you're patient to wait for the trade to come, when it comes at the right time, you're in it. Hold on. When it comes at the right time, you're in it. Powerful, man. Powerful. Still waiting to get some Don DeMarcos. Ryan, don't worry about it. You'll get plenty. You'll get plenty. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing it right. Allows that trade mode is a mental illness. Peleus, trading before skill is a bad habit to create, especially if you're aware of trading with TA. Go get him. Go get him, young Yoda. Mr. Johnson, what's good? Yeah, happens all. See, it happens all the time. This is what I mean about just nuances on the platform that people are not aware of. Let me put up what Johnson said. He said the video you just showed is crazy. No pricing, but you executed the trade. Yeah. So in other words, there was no pricing, but the trade filled. Now, mind you, understand something. That was a whole separate person in that video that took that trade. I was also in that trade. So that means I got filled, he got filled, whoever else was in that trade at the time also probably got filled on the trade. But when you saw pricing, there wasn't any pricing that appeared at all on the platform. This is what I mean about understanding the platform and the nuances of the platform. People don't realize that that's even possible. It's like, well, how did you get filled and there was no pricing? Because there is pricing. You just don't see the pricing all the time on the platform. See, there's depth of the contracts on the NADEX platform. It's not just what you see visually on the platform. There's orders that are there that you don't see. It's just like if somebody decided to, within the last 45 seconds of the binary, place their order, and they're on the other side of the trade that I want to take, their actual order may not even be shown, because as soon as they click in, if I click in on the other side, I'll just I'll just take that trade. I'll take the other side of that trade from whoever that person is. You never see the pricing on the platform. See? You didn't know that. I'm just explaining the way that the platform works and some of the nuances. This goes on all the time. See, when you study, you begin to learn little things about what you're actually doing and how things work. That's a nuance that I learned kind of early on, just from observation. As I'm looking, I'm like, wait, no, no, no. Oh, I understand now. I used to go as far. I used to call NADEX up. I used to ask them questions. I'd be like, well, so hold on. If I place an order and then the order gets filled, will the pricing necessarily be shown on the platform? No, not always, because there's depth in the market. My knowledge, it's about just educating yourself, becoming familiar with things and learning as much as you can. And you can do that when you're serious and you're applying, yourself to what it is that you're doing. That's all we do. That's all we do. So that's why I share my knowledge, because as I learn things, it's not gonna hurt me to share it. Just like right now, me talking about this right now I'm on a public live stream talking about this. I don't care. It's not gonna hurt me by sharing this information. And what's funny is that most people ain't gonna take heed to the information anyway. Most people are not gonna do anything, even when you tell them. So only people who are serious and people that want to actually develop the skill set, they're gonna pay attention. They'll plug in. This will make sense and resonate with them. You see? So you got to be cut from the cloth anyway, even to be over here with TA. Because otherwise, you just are just sitting there dumbfounded by what you're seeing on the platform, still trying to figure things out. When the blueprint is already laid out for you when you train here. So it's just, it's so much. There's a lot of nuances. Just in the training playlist alone, there's right now, I took out the first 300 trainings out the playlist. And there's still 430 something trainings left to watch. Live trainings. So with 300 trainings gone, like you can't even access those trainings anymore. I'm only focusing on 400 and something plus trainings and nuances and things that the platform has revealed. All type of stuff are in those trainings. That's why I do the live recommended training every night, because you're going to get something valuable from many of the trainers that you didn't see yet without me doing anything new. That's why I use the market observation to show different things now that I'm kind of doing. I'm showing the box and the tools and stuff like that. Live training, there's trainings right now that you haven't seen. There's something on them live trainings that's going to help to elevate you just like that. As soon as you watch it, you're going to be like, damn, that was powerful. And it's all going to build, it's building you. It's helping you to further develop your skill set. Telling you, man, I know what I'm doing. I must say. I must say, I know exactly what's going on here. Forrest, what's going on? Osmond, what's up? Pele said, we click in, we saw the stability. There's no oops, I made a mistake. There's just oops, I need to train more till I'm confident enough to not make a mistake. Bingo. That's what I'm talking about. Orion, yeah, that was a next level trade. I need to study it after this. And see, what I want you guys to do is don't even focus on the trade. What am I going to tell you to focus on? In that video, don't focus on the trade. The trade the trade wasn't even supposed to be filled based on how you understand trades. In your mind, you're like, wait, how did he get in that trade? There was no pricing. He wasn't even supposed to be in that trade based on what you know. Yet he was in the trade. So was I. With no pricing shown at all. So don't focus on the trade. That's not the focus. That's not why we clicked in. See? Elevation. And as you begin to flow with this, you'll begin to understand, oh, I'm starting to catch on. I understand now why he's saying that. And it starts to click. Starts clicking. Like, oh shit. He ain't even talking about the trade. Exactly. Trade gonna take care of itself. Market gives us trades all the time. Question is it the right time? That's the question. That's what you need to know. You need to know the answer to that. The idiot character. Mortimer. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, you could definitely lead a horse to water. That's a fact. That's a fact. Paley is focused on the market and the stability it was showing at the time. Bingo. That is the most important part of recordings. See, I noticed that people like to see trades in the recordings. Some of the best recordings are just observations. Hold on. Come on, man. Come on. Listen to me. This is why I do the live observation, because I'm recording as we're observing. So when you play this back, look at the chart and how the market was moving. Look at what I'm not doing. You don't see me doing anything. If you don't see me open up a ticket, there's no potential to do anything. Sometimes I do open up a ticket and then I close it. So ask yourself, I wonder why he closed that ticket. See? Start asking yourself those questions. Then you begin to understand the dynamic of what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing and what I'm recognizing. See? Sometimes you'll see me zoom in like this. I wonder why he zoomed in right there. These are the questions you should be asking. Why did he zoom in? I don't always zoom in. Why did he open up a ticket? I don't always open up a ticket. Sometimes I do. Why did I open up a ticket in that moment? Why did I open up a ticket on that binary? Why did I zoom in right there? Market mode. This is what I'm conditioning you to get used to this. Market mode. We're not looking for trades. This is powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff. Look at what Paley said. The observation is the bread and butter, not the trade. What? See, through the observation, you'll understand why. Why? Why would you want to take a trade now? Why would you want to be in a trade now? That's the question. Not, is this a good trade? We're not in trade mode. We're in market mode. We don't care if it's a good trade. Oh, look at this one setting up. So what? Trades set up all the time. And they be setups. They set you up. That's not the question. Mm-mm-mm. Let me tell you something, man. If people take heed to these live market observations, like there was a young lady that had posted a comment on YouTube on it might have been the first one I ever did, and she said that she's been watching the live market observations, and her trading ain't been the same since. She ain't lose yet because she's understanding and she's grasping the concepts. Mind you, she don't even train with us or nothing. But she started to change her trading because she's paying attention. Like, I'm not just talking just to talk. Everything I'm saying makes sense. Everything I'm saying works when you apply it. It works. I know what I'm talking about. I do it. You're going to do it. If you follow me and you train with me and do what I'm doing, you're going to do the same thing. Well, Mark, how many times you watch 301 every day? I don't even know. A lot. So don't tell me that you watch 301 twice. There ain't even a day that go by where I only look at 301 two times. I watch 301 no less than 3 or 4 times a day, in addition to the other ones. 301 mindset on repeat. Stability training on repeat. Episode 13 of the podcast on repeat. Those 4 videos I give you in the 301 playlist, I watch that every day. It's on repeat. And the recommended live training. And I do a live market observation. And we do the podcast. Doing all of this all day. Quick glance in the market. Right now, I'm looking at the market. Throughout the day, I'm quick glance in the market looking. Conditioned. I'm conditioned. I can't do nothing else now. This is what I do. So this is what's going to happen to you as you train. If you do what I do, you'll do what I do. Hold on, let's say that again for the people in the back. If you do what I do, you'll do what I do. Come on now. Mm-mm-mm. Peleus, it's the bread and butter because it leads to the timing of being in the right trade at the right time. Jay Carly said, not looking for it, looking at it. Hard. That's hard. Not looking for it. Paley says, if you take what I take, you make what I make. That's a fact. That's a fact. Jermaine did it. Jermaine really taking it to the next level because he in 2 accounts with it. Who that sound like? Who that sound like? If you do what I do, you'll do what I do. Get him, Jermaine. Oh, man. See, you be around long enough, it inevitably happens anyway. You really end up doing like what I be doing. And it's one of the reasons why I talk about the training part, because I really I take that very seriously. It's to the point now where I feel funny if I'm not training. So there's never a time where I'm not training, ever. Bluetooth speaker in the shower, Bluetooth all over the house. I got three phones, and they all have training playing on them. Unless I'm using them to record. Unless I'm doing a podcast or live streaming or something, my phone's is playing. All of them. My kids know 301 on repeat by heart. This is like, when I talk about this, I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating or anything because I don't have to. I have more than 5,000 views of 301. Hold on. 301 was created March. No. February. What's the date again for 301? I keep doing this. I think it was February something. Or it might have been March something. Jay Carly about to tell me. When did 301 come out last year? I'm just waiting. And she knew the time and everything. When was 301 released? Thank you. There you look at Forrest. Ooh. Whoa, hold on. Forrest is on it. Said March 10th. That's right, because it was the day after Biggie died. Biggie died on March 9th. Oh, that's right. It was 2019. My bad. So that's 2 years. So we 2 years into 301. I got 5,000 views on 301 and counting. How many views? Let me see some. Let me see how many views we got all together on there now. Because I want y'all to see something. I just want y'all to see something real quick. Where's this thing at? I be having so much stuff open on my screen. It's ridiculous. I can't even find shit. I got browsers my browsers get lost behind browsers. I got all type of shit open. It's crazy. It's retarded. I got so much stuff open on this computer. Where's this thing at? Hold on. I am sitting by the window. Remember that song? All right. 301 got 47,961 views on it. And I have 5,000 plus views on it. So literally, I'm more than 10% of the views, the total views of that video. Just me. Just me. So just think about that for a second. Think about that. Like, how many times do you think I'll be watching it every day to have numbers like that? How many times am I listening to that thing every day? And this don't include when I go to sleep. Because when I go to sleep, I got earbuds in and I go to sleep playing it. Like Lulu watching Netflix or whatever she watching. And I got earbuds in and I go to bed with it playing in my ear. On repeat. Subconscious training. Subconscious train. So understand, like, this is why I do what I do. When you train that way, how do you think you're going to perform? You become it. 301 is the process that we use in the market. So if that's all you listening to every day, what you think going to happen? What do you think is going to happen eventually? Eventually, you do observation, you start recording. Like, oh, let's take a look at the market real quick. Let's do the quick glance. Here, let me put the box up. Let's see how the market's looking. Nope, market is touching the top and the bottom of the box. Nope, it's doing too much. You just know. You don't have to ask. You know, you're looking. Nope, it's not there yet. Not quite there. Nope. Oh, it's almost there. Starting to stabilize. Oh, we get some clusters. We got a range going. You start talking through, and you start learning and understanding what you're looking at now. Now, when you look at the market, you're not even the same person looking at the market no more, because 301 is changing you. The process of training is changing you. It's turning you into the person that deserves them winning trades when they come. That's who you becoming. The person that deserves those winning trades. Straight up. Because you're conditioning yourself to only execute a process that's going to win every time. It's not that you picking winning trades all the time. You're picking the right time. You're being conditioned to recognize the right time when you see it, in addition to the wrong time. So you know when it's the wrong time too, to know not to do anything. That's powerful. So when you start 30 trades to freedom, what you think gonna happen? One, you're gonna be documenting, meaning you're gonna be recording. Two, it's 1-0 each time. Next thing you know, you finished. I'm just saying, like that's how it happens. You're just done. Rinse and repeat. So my point is this: do everything that you're instructed to do from the very beginning when you train. That way you never have to do anything over again. Like, oh, I messed up. Now I got to start over. I don't want you to do that. Do it right out the gate. If that means, and not even if that means, that's going to mean not trading yet. See, the market going to let you know when you're ready, because you'll recognize stability when you see it without question. That's the market's way of letting you know, yeah, you're ready. You're developing that patience, not trying to force a trade. Ain't nothing to force. Recognize stability, wait for the market to give it to you. Bang. Up there it is. Bang. No hesitation and none of that. You're not looking at the contract size, any of that. You be 10-0. You had 5 contracts. Bang. 20-0. You had 25 contracts. Bang. Next thing you know, you 23-0, 24-0. You had 80 contracts. Then you had 98 contracts, 100 contracts. It's still bang. It's still the same thing. Doesn't matter how much contracts it is. Don't matter how much money's in the account. Process. You got the process. You're trained. You're conditioned. That's all you do. You don't even do nothing else. Oh, I slipped up. Nope. Ain't none of that. Because you're conditioned. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you how to condition yourself. 301 on repeat. The 301 playlist on repeat. Just do it every day. You know, what's funny and interesting about 301 is people will still ask, oh, what does MRMH mean? And I said earlier in a group chat, I said, you know what? When anytime somebody asks that, don't tell them. Because in 301, I say what it is. And what's crazy is you might have listened to 301 25, 30 times, and you still didn't hear me say it. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. You watched it 20 times and didn't hear me say what MRMH means? What does that tell you about just the fact that you're watching the same thing, mind you, and you ain't catch it yet? It goes to show you how your brain works. You miss shit all the time. This is why you have to repeat it. That's why when people tell me, oh, yeah, I watched 301 already, what's next? What's next? Watch it again. That's what's next. You need to let 301 get into you because that's the process. 301 is our process. Before you move on from that, you need to understand the process fully. You can only do that through repetition. Come on now. It all makes sense. Starts clicking. People start understanding what I'm saying. Oh, damn, he right. How many times did it take you to watch 301 before you knew what MRMH stood for? Before you knew what the acronym meant? How many times? Some of y'all probably was like 40 times. It took you 40 views to hear it for the first time. So just think about anything else that you might be missing from the same training. And that is the training that you need to watch every day. Because that's the process. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, Granny's done. Bye, Granny. Come on, acting stupid. Yeah, man. But that's what it is all day, forever and no. Forever and oh. Champ, I appreciate that. And shout out to Champ for documentation. Yep. Paley said you watched it 30 times. You still ain't catch it. You in trade mode. It's true. It's very true. We press. Want to know forever. That's it. That's it, man. Look at what Jermaine said. This is what I'm talking about. He says you only see trades at the right time. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Let me tell you something, man. This is what happened when you stick around for a minute. Listen to what he said. You only see trades at the right time. He didn't say you only see good trades. The only trades we care about are the ones that come at the right time. Why? Because the ones that come at the right time are going to win. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Shawnee, what's good? He said third shift. Yep. This is hard. Yeah, so I see. It looked like the London session starting to move things around a little bit. Let me adjust my box. Yep. So I mean, it's just rinse and repeat, man. That's all it is. And the more that you rinse and repeat the process, the more conditioned you become to only execute the process. The more you rinse and repeat 301 mindset, the more conditioned your mindset becomes. Patience is building, discipline is building, focus is building. You need those things to execute the process and only the process. See, you don't realize how important patience is until you try to execute the process. When you're observing the market and nothing is happening yet, and you're sitting there like, damn, ain't get no trade yet. But because you're conditioning yourself to be patient, you're okay with that. The discipline starts kicking in. You stop saying things like, oh man, I ain't get a trade yet. You start saying things like, the market ain't stable yet. That's what, you see how it starts switching. Instead of you thinking about a trade, you're looking at the market. Market ain't stable yet. Market is doing too much. Market is touching the top of the box. See? I'm telling y'all, man, it starts kicking in. It starts kicking in. Next thing you know, the process is just what you do. And that's the bag all day. That is the bag all day. All right, man. So this was good. This is a good observation. For sure. So you'll make sure that you'll check out the podcast from earlier today. Did another podcast basically about Bitcoin with that news from Tesla. Tesla said they're going to start accepting Bitcoin. And that's huge, because what it means is that they're trying to get all of the Bitcoin that they can get. And if they're trying to get all the Bitcoin that they can get, you should be trying to get all the Bitcoin that you can get. And like I said in the podcast, don't sell it either. Buy more Bitcoin, man. Every week, get a little bit. Take your Starbucks money, cut it in half, and buy Bitcoin with that half. But y'all can check out the podcast, man. Definitely went in on that today. So the audio for the podcast, the BrooklynMosesPodcast.com. The video for the podcast for the first Bitcoin video I did is at buybitcoineveryweek.com. Yep. Buybitcoineveryweek.com. Yeah, matter of fact, let me post it in here. Buy every week. Yeah, watch that if you ain't watched it yet. Watch that podcast. And so we'll be back on the podcast tomorrow. And, just doing what we do. Moving how we move. All right, it's 2:30. Yeah, I'm going to bed. All right, y'all. You know what it is, man. I'm out. I'm out of here. Peace. Dom DeMarco.